Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, September 8th. Best effing dad here, Dr. Vuong, world-renowned bariatric surgeon. Gonna give you a quick COVID update. You know, the numbers around 100,000 cases is where we're at. As you know, hot in Alaska, moving up to Pennsylvania and New Jersey. And the Midwest is on fire and will get worse. That's the result of Sturgis from, yes, I know, back in August, but that's how long this kind of takes to manifest as things spread out. But I want to talk about myocarditis today. Okay, so it's all the news. Now comment if you have a friend or a loved one who are unwilling to get vaccinated because they think it's too risky. Talk about the myocarditis, like people are dying from this vaccine. Like, no, they're not. All right, no, they're not. So listen, there's just this week, just a couple days ago, in the New England Journal of Medicine, like the biggest probably medical journal in the world that all your doctors and everybody read to stay up to date. They published some original articles, not headline news, not reproduction, a published peer-reviewed article, a couple of them. They spent a lot of the journal on myocarditis, and this is looking at Israel. So there are different types of studies. This one is a review, kind of like looking back and seeing, hey, what happened? So as of May 2021 in Israel, roughly 5.1 million people, not doses, have been vaccinated. So of those 5.1 million people, how many cases of myocarditis were there? I will wait and see the answers. Let me see the answers. I'll just tell you. Out of 5.1 million myocarditis cases, out of 5.1 million vaccinations, there were a total of 136 myocarditis cases. And people aren't getting vaccinated because they're using this as an excuse. 136 confirmed myocarditis cases out of 5.1 million people who got vaccinated in Israel. Okay. Of those 136 cases, 129 were mild. In other words, they got over it. So that leaves 7 that were considered a little bit more severe. And out of all of those cases, 1 person died. But Dr. V, 1 person's too many. 1 death's too many. I can't take it. 700,000 people in America alone, 4.8 million worldwide, have died from COVID, and yet people are using this as an excuse. Now, let me tell you something. Just because that 1 person died, we don't know if they died from the myocarditis. Of the 136 people who got myocarditis, all it says is they had it after they got the shot. Does not mean it was caused by the shot. Correlation is not causation. It does not mean. So I'll give you an example. In mesh studies, surgical studies, when I was a young surgeon, I was shocked to learn. Let's say I do a hernia repair on a patient. And a month later, they are walking along and they have a heart attack. Or they are drinking and driving and get into a car wreck and they die. For the first 30 days, that is reported as a death after my hernia repair. So then this is how this works. So they look at it and then they study it and then they review it, and then 60, 90 days later, they said, oh no, it was a heart attack, had nothing to do with the hernia surgery, or it was drinking and driving, nothing to do with the hernia surgery. So when they're looking at new products, let's say you have a mesh for hernia, or a new procedure, or Botox, or liposuction, it doesn't fucking matter what the procedure is. They will look at everybody who had that mesh put in, and they will follow it for years and see how many of them died. So all of them that died, they go onto the database, And then the statisticians and the medical researchers that then have to go through case by case and say yes or no. So see, that's the crazy thing about people don't understand how medical reporting happens. So 5.1 million vaccination doses in Israel, 136 confirmed myocarditis cases, doesn't mean that it was caused by the vaccine, right? That's the key. And 129 of them were mild. Let me tell you something. That could be background noise. That could be background noise. Now, it's a little bit higher than background, so we know there's a little something happening, but we're not quite sure. Now, what we are sure about is that if you come down with COVID, your chances of suffering some sort of heart condition is much higher. It's higher. Your risk of having myocarditis from COVID is higher than your risk of having it from a vaccination. So if you're a logical thinking person, you would think like, okay, well, I would rather take my chances of getting myocarditis from after getting vaccinated, not because of the vaccine, but just because it's after vaccination, than if I took my chances and caught COVID. Who understands what I'm trying to say? That's the skinny. That's the real truth about myocarditis after vaccination. It is extremely, extremely rare, and probably, maybe slightly in certain populations have a higher risk. People who, a slightly higher risk of having it, of afterwards. But again, the vast majority recover. But they don't always recover after COVID from myocarditis. So it's just bizarre to me. What happens is people who are looking for a certain agenda, they look for information to confirm their biases, and they'll headline read, news outlets will write like really shocking titles. While it's not completely untrue, it's not completely true. And so, trust me, COVID is much worse than vaccination. Hospitalization is much worse for your kids than wearing a mask. So, get over it. Just leave it to the experts. Do the right thing. I want to go out. I want to go back to normal. I want to travel. I want to take my girlfriend all over the world. I want to be able to, go to the Natural Science Museum and the Children's Museum with my 5-year-old. So the only way to do that is to get everybody vaccinated. And, I'm fully vaccinated in May. Still don't have a monkey tail. Who knew? I'm still fucking grumpy. I'm still fucking, happy as shit. I'm still fucking Dr. V. I'm not a girl. My goatee's growing back in. Didn't affect anything. I'm still the same, smart aleck asshole that you guys love. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.